Let's talk about a new fundamental literacy. The new must-have skill is called prompt engineering. Though for most intents and purposes, it doesn't require the mathematical or scientific rigors of engineering. It's a communication skill, but rather than human-to-human communication, it's human to machine. Prompts are how we interact with large language models to get them to do what we want. I wrote a short blog having done some research using ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. Then I uploaded my document into a notebook using Google's Notebook LM and had it create a podcast. Very simple, drag and drop, point and click. I've included a link below to the original blog that is the source of this podcast. Take a listen, and I'll see you on the other side.
Okay, so let's dive in. I mean, for basically forever, the idea has been simple. Reading is fundamental. That's not just some slogan, right? It's the key.
Absolutely. The key to unlocking knowledge, understanding, everything, really.
Yeah, think about it. History, science, how-to guides, stories, it's all been locked up in text. You've got organizations like RIF.org. They started way back in '66, pushing this exact idea. Reading empowers people. It's always been the core literacy.
And the sources we're looking at today, they definitely respect that. They acknowledge how crucial reading still is. But they're also pointing to something huge that's happening, like right now.
The AI revolution, basically.
Exactly. Specifically large language models, LLMs. And the point is, this isn't just another gadget. It's starting to make us question, what does fundamental even mean anymore? What skills are truly essential?
Right. And this is where these sources make a really interesting, maybe even provocative claim. They're saying, look, reading, still vital, absolutely critical, but there's this new skill elbowing its way up to that same fundamental level. And that skill is writing effective prompts for these AIs.
Yeah, not just for tech wizards, they argue, but for everyone. It's becoming like a new foundational literacy. It mirrors how reading unlocked information in the past.
That's it. They frame prompt writing as the new key, basically, the key to harnessing what these incredibly powerful AI systems can do, the knowledge they hold. So that's our mission for this deep dive, really. Let's unpack that. How does writing a good prompt actually work like reading used to? We'll look at the parallels the sources draw and why they argue this is becoming so indispensable, for you.
And what's really cool is how the sources use history to make their point. Think about, say, researching something complex like the French Revolution, but before the internet.
Oh, yeah, the library trip, card catalogs, maybe those clunky early computers if you were lucky.
Right, and finding the books was one thing, but then the real bottleneck was your ability to actually read them, understand them, pull information from different places.
Synthesize it all, and maybe, as the sources kind of joke, how fast you could walk between the library stacks.
Exactly. Your skill wasn't just locating a source. It was deeply engaging with the text, right? Spotting bias, connecting dots between authors.
Yeah.
And the sources argue that today, well, you still need those reading skills to judge the information you get. But getting that initial information, that vast synthesized knowledge from an LLM, that increasingly depends on how well you ask.
On the prompt, you write.
Precisely. And the difference in quality. It's huge, depending on the prompt. The sources give this example, like researching AI's impact on jobs.
Okay.
A really basic prompt, like, tell me about the future of work. Well, that's like asking a librarian, tell me about books.
You'll get something. Probably overwhelming and not very useful, just kind of wandering the shelves hoping you find something relevant.
Exactly. But compare that, as the sources do, to someone who knows the area a bit. They might ask something like, analyze the projected impact of AI automation on middle-skill service jobs.
Okay, getting specific.
In developed economies over the next decade, citing potential policy implications mentioned in recent economic literature.
Wow, okay. That's not just asking a question. That's directing the search in a really focused way.
That's the point. To even write that prompt, you need to understand what middle-skill service jobs are, what developed economies means in this context, what policy implications might look like.
So prompting well isn't just about talking to a machine. It requires actual knowledge before you even start.
Yes. The sources really stress that. It's not a magic box. Prompting skill gets way more powerful when you combine it with what you already know. It's like knowing the library's classification system so you can go straight to the right section.
That makes sense. And it's not just about getting information out, is it? The sources also talk about using prompts to get the AI to do things, like following instructions.
Yeah, exactly, like reading instructions to, I don't know, build IKEA furniture or follow a recipe.
Okay, give me the example.
Well, they use marketing, asking
Yeah.
an AI to just write social media posts.
Super vague, like handing someone some wood and saying, build furniture.
Pretty much. You'll get a result, but likely not what you actually need.
But what's the better version?
A well-crafted prompt might be, generate 3 engaging Instagram posts for a new eco-friendly cleaning product line. Target environmentally conscious homeowners. Keep each post under 100 characters and highlight these unique points. Plant-based, powerful cleaning, recyclable packaging.
Okay, now that's specific. You've got the platform, Instagram, the audience, homeowners, the length under 100 characters, the goal engaging, and the exact content points.
Exactly. It gives the AI context, constraints, purpose, content needs. It guides it. And the sources argue that doing this effectively requires you to think differently. You have to break the task down, define the edges, specify the output. It's less asking, more instructing.
And to write that good prompt, you had to really think about the marketing goal, the product, the audience. It forces a certain clarity.
It does. The sources draw a line here back to the kind of critical thinking you develop through reading, figuring out an author's purpose, breaking down their argument, finding the key pieces. You need marketing smarts and product knowledge, not just AI knowledge, to write that prompt well.
Which leads to another parallel they draw, checking the work, evaluating the output. Just like a good reader questions what they're reading, looks for bias, spots errors.
Right. An effective prompter needs to be really critical of what the AI spits out. Because, let's be honest, AI can get things wrong. It can hallucinate, as they say.
Or just confidently state things that are factually incorrect or maybe biased because of the data it learned from.
So, the sources say a skilled user doesn't just take the AI's summary and run with it. They use prompts to probe it.
Oh, so?
Instead of just accepting the answer, you might follow up with prompts like, okay, what are the main counterarguments to the points you just made? Or are there potential biases in the data underlying this information? Maybe even explain the limitations of the model that generated this.
So you're using the prompt not just to get the first answer, but to test it, to understand where it might be weak. That's not passive consumption at all.
Not at all. It's active engagement. You're using the AI to help you think more critically, building on those critical reading skills we talked about. The sources suggest this back and forth, this refinement process. That's where the real power lies.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. The core argument from these sources is powerful. Reading, still fundamental, absolutely. Can't do without it for understanding everything humans have written down.
Indispensable, but
they're making this really strong case that writing effective prompts is becoming, well, equally fundamental, and new literacy needed to work with AI.
it's not replacing reading. It's like a necessary partner skill for this new era. Reading unlocks the past and present in text. Prompting unlocks the potential of AI to work with information in completely new ways.
Processing it, generating it, interacting with it.
Yeah, and the sources are pretty clear. In a world that's getting more and more integrated with AI, this skill, this ability to prompt, well, it isn't just nice to have. It's becoming essential for you, for how you learn, how you work, how you find things out.
They almost frame it like learning how to learn all over again, but now you've got these incredibly powerful AI tools to help you.
If you know how to use them properly, mastering this new literacy they suggest is really key to expanding what you can do and making sure you're ready for whatever comes next.
Which kind of leaves us and you with a big question to chew on, doesn't it? Based on everything these sources are saying.
Yeah. If effective prompting really is becoming this new fundamental key to knowledge, right alongside reading, what does that mean for schools, for traditional learning?
And maybe more personally for you listening right now, how should you be thinking about developing this skill? Starting now, at the beginning of this shift, so you're not playing catch-up later, something to think about.
I was impressed by how the LLM was able to produce relevant examples using just very simple guidance. But it also included some content from a previous version of my blog. And something else I found interesting. The more times I edit and iterate, the more interesting the dialogues became. And that's probably because of its memory. The summary is very good and is likely the result of embedded contextual system prompts. It ends with a thought-provoking question about the future of pedagogy, with a call to action that's somewhat ambiguous and open-ended, but maybe that's not such a bad idea. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.